Over the course of Black Ops 6 and its seasonal content so far, we've had a total of 6 unique attachments added to the game, each one becoming progressively more and more useless than the last. Not only are these attachments either practically useless or completely devoid of creativity, they're also in some cases functionally useless or even broken, and not in a good way. In this video, I'm going to go over these new attachments that we've gotten in Black Ops 6 and why I feel they are completely underbaked and need an overhaul desperately, both to the future and to the currently existing attachments. Before I go over the seasonal attachments we've gotten in Black Ops 6 so far, let me really quickly remind you of a system that we had in last year's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Now look, I know this wasn't exactly the most popular game in the franchise, it had a pretty rocky launch, but I must commend Sledgehammer for their post-launch content and the innovative aftermarket parts system. In Modern Warfare 3, if you weren't there, every week we would be able to earn a brand new aftermarket part. These were unique attachments that would often alter a weapon's functionality drastically. Sure, there were a few stinkers like a random red dot sight or some laser every now and then, but for the most part, almost every single aftermarket part was not only unique, but offered new gameplay functionality and playstyles. Whether that was turning your semi-automatic sidearm into a mini SMG, or turning your SMG into a dual-wield zero-recoil monster, turning a revolver into a literal sniper rifle, or even adding a flamethrower to the bottom of your weapon. I mean, just look at this shit. An underbarrel chainsaw, a blundergat, a fusion rifle from Destiny, dual-wield shotguns. Every single week, we would get new content like this. And not only was it great from a business standpoint, keeping players coming back to the game every week and increasing player retention, but it was super fun and an amazing way to switch up the weapon meta and prevent the game from feeling stale. It was even good for weapon balance, as guns that were underperforming or underused would often get aftermarket parts that buffed them up and made them usable or even meta once again. MW3 was far from a perfect Call of Duty game, but this system in isolation was damn near perfect. Now fast forward to Black Ops 6 Season 1, what did we get? Well, we got Dragon's Breath, which is admittedly very good in zombies, but definitely not anything we haven't seen before. And we got the Buffer Stock, which admittedly, again, is good for the Warzone guys out there, as it turns the M4 into a laser beam, but it hits your movement speed hard, which is hard to justify in this game's fast-paced environment. And it's also only usable on 3 weapons. So we didn't start off too bad. Obviously, they weren't going to go balls to the walls crazy for the first season, right? But now let's take a look at Season 2. We got 4 new attachments this season. For the first, we got an underbarrel crossbow. It gets points for being unique, I suppose, but unfortunately it's completely useless in any practical sense in any mode. The damage is far too low, the ammo is pitiful, and it costs you a vital attachment slot that's usually reserved for recoil control. Next, we got the full auto mod for the AEK, which at least functions well, so I guess that's neat, but it's definitely not getting me excited. Also, extended mags are incompatible with this attachment for some reason, which makes it quite underpowered in both zombies and Warzone. Next, we got the binary trigger for the Tanto, which in basically every way, shape, and form just makes the gun worse. Less damage, less range. Sure, it shoots faster if you can get used to that funky binary trigger pull, but it still kills slower than the base gun. Not only does this attachment nerf your weapon, but it also locks half of your attachment slots. Like, what the fuck is this? So even if you want to improve it, you quite literally can't. And now that brings us to our final attachment of this season, and by far the worst from both a technical and a practical standpoint. The belt-fed attachment for the LMGs. This attachment in theory sounds amazing, and I was actually really looking forward to making a video on it, especially in zombies, since it sounds perfect for such a mode. Unfortunately, that won't be happening because this shit is hot ass. Sure, this attachment may give you slightly more ammo reserves in specific cases, but is that a good trade-off for quite literally destroying your damage output? This attachment will let you fire around 30 to 40 rounds consecutively before it overheats and needs to cool down. This cooldown process takes around 6 seconds, I believe, and it cannot be sped up in any way with perks, attachments, or even the pack-a-punch in zombies. But wait, here's the best part, it doesn't even have a heat gauge to show you when it will overheat. Oh, you know, just the most basic and crucial information required when operating a cooldown based weapon? Yeah, it's not here. Fucking World at War had this feature on its belt-fed LMGs back in 2008. Hey guys, Nova from the future here. Just wanted to really quickly let you know while I'm editing this video that they just released an update today that did in fact add an overheat gauge to the belt fed attachment. So there is a little meter there now next to your crosshair so you can tell when your weapon is going to overheat. So thank you, Treyarch, I guess, for adding that in an update. I mean, I feel like that should have been there at the start, but regardless, forget that last point I just made because there is an overheat gauge now. By the way, just for some perspective, the XMG with extended mag and Pack-a-Punch in Zombies has 400 rounds that you can fire consecutively without pausing at all, and a reload that is comparable to the base cooldown of belt fed, and it's actually way faster than the cooldown of belt fed if you have speed cola. This is what I mean when I say these attachments are completely underbaked. These ain't aftermarkets, bro, these are afterthoughts. No dev tested this and thought it would be a great addition to the game. An intern probably coded this from his basement over the weekend. Yet they have the gall to slap it on the roadmap like it's some life-changing content. Just in case you forgot, MW3 aftermarket parts were released every single week during the life cycle of MW3, usually dropping around 6 to 8 parts total per season. So far we've gotten 2 in the first season and 4 in the second. And they all pale in comparison to the uniqueness in the functionality and the quality of the MW3 aftermarket parts. These unique attachments in Black Ops 6 have been very disappointing so far and outright sad when compared to what we had not even a full year ago. How can Sledgehammer, the studio that, according to some insider reports, had only a year and a half to throw together a brand new, fully fledged Call of Duty game after Activision shafted them and forced them to create MW3 rather than the previously planned MW2 expansion at the last second, have better post-launch content than Black Ops 6, which had reportedly 4 years of development time? It simply doesn't add up. I truly hope Treyarch takes the time to ensure that these attachments we receive in future seasons of BO6 are more fleshed out, practical, and technically sound than these current iterations. Because as it stands, these attachments are not even worth the cost of equipping them. Thank you for watching. If you agree or disagree, let me know what you think in the comment section. I would love to hear your thoughts on this one. And of course, you know the drill. If you like the video, any engagement is greatly appreciated. We are super close to 3,000 subscribers, which is actually insane. I did not think we would grow so fast, so thank you once again for all that support. Regardless though, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Peace.